BITS Pilani, you guys studied so hard. I've never seen an audience like this at 9:30 at night encouraging their speakers so much. So I love you. I love you all. And I hope you're all well fed right now, so that you're not looking for your dabbas to be served at your own seats. I've been a recipient of these dabbas for many years. I've been a Mumbai resident for 31 years. And I marvel at this man and the people of the Dabba Association. We met Bombay Rock. I feel very privileged and honored to have been invited to your esteemed organization. I came here the first time when I was 15 years old for a swimming meet at your swimming pool. And I'm coming back now. My mother would be, if she was around, very, very proud of me today that I've been invited here. She will also be very angry with me. And you might be wondering as to why she would be angry. Because we have a history. When I was in school, I was a terrible student. And I was the 8th child in a family after 7 girls. And I think your district had to contribute because I think my mother came to Rani Sati Mandir to ask for a son. And she didn't know what a terrible boy she was going to get. The story about me and my mother is that my parents in those days wanted me, like all parents did, to be an engineer, to be a doctor, or to be in the IAS. Now, the kind of marks I got, I don't think I could have become any one of those. In fact, my father fired me after my 11th standard that how can you get 39% in mathematics? This was in 1972. He passed away in 1985. I never told him those 39 were out of 200. I said my mother would be angry with me, had she been around. Why would she be angry? Years passed, I became a cricketer, I went and tasted tea, I came into advertising, and one day, this is after Videsur and after I got some recognition from the people of India. Now she was fairly proud of me. And one day, I called her up. I had just received a letter, and I read the letter out to her. It was from the Masuri IAS Academy asking me to come and do a session with the probationers in the Indian Administrative Services. So I called my mother and said, you wanted me to go there, you want me to teach there. So how about that? And she was very pissed off with me. She said, you always talk nonsense. Then I got the second chance with her. I called her up a year later. When I joined at a tea company, she said to me, देखो यार, अब तुमने प्राइवेट नौकरी ली है, तो at least go and do an MBA. I said, what nonsense, I'm doing what I'm doing. And then I called her up because I had received a letter from I am Ahmedabad to come and teach the people. The third and fourth, unfortunately, I missed out. She was one hell of a sport. She loved humor. I think I got some of my humor from her. The third one, which was fantastic, and I said, Mom, why did you pass away so early? You made me miss the best one. All my life, she said, "तुम किस तरह के ब्राह्मण हो? You eat meat, you smoke cigarettes, you do this, that, the other. What kind of a Brahman are you?" And last year, they gave me the Brahman Shiromani Award. And today would have been my day to tell her that the only two ways I got admission, entry into the famed BITS Pilani, one was through swimming and the other one through advertising. So I'm very, very privileged to be here. And what am I going to do today? I'm not going to talk too much. I'm going to share some stories with you because I believe advertising is not rocket science. Advertising is about storytelling. You take stories, take it to people, put them up in a fashion that they are able to digest them, they are able to love them, and they are able to talk about them. I don't think advertising can be taught by books. Yes, books are like brushing your teeth in the morning. You got to do it because you want to eat chicken in the afternoon. Otherwise you will have no teeth. And I think, and why am I so enthusiastic about being here, is that I think there could be some potential advertising stars in this audience. One of my best creative directors rated in the top 5 in the country is actually a metallurgist from BHU. So I'm sure there's some very, very creative people here who at some stage may think that advertising is not such a bad thing, maybe I can give it a shot. I spoke to you about storytelling and some things I learned over the years. Today I'm going to share stories with you, I'm going to share experiences with you. There are no formulas. If I had formulas, I would be actually succeeding every day. But that doesn't happen. Even if Tendulkar doesn't score 100 every day. So there is no formula. The first thing that I learned was that every product has a story. David Ogley used to say, interrogate the product to the extent that it makes a confession about what it is. And how you take a product story and take it to people is a basic thing about advertising that I want to share with you. I'm going to share with you 5 commercials, I think. My friend at the technology end, I forget your name, who's helping me with technology? Abhishek. Thank you, Abhishek. Can you run the first set of commercials for me? Think about it. It's no rocket science, you could have done it. It's about taking a product story and taking it to people. Volume a little louder.
सिद्धपुर, दूर दूर से लोग आते हैं यहाँ पर दुनिया का सबसे कठिन काम करने, माँ का श्राद्ध। ये कपिल आश्रम है और ये बिंदु सरोवर। ये पानी नहीं है, बेटे बेटियों के आंसुओं का सागर है। कहते हैं सरस्वती नदी नहीं रुकती। सरस्वती माँ का एक और नाम। ये वो स्थल है जो हमें जोड़ता है माँ के प्यार दुलार से, उसके उपकार से, एक अनचुकाए उधार से। सिद्धपुर, गुजरात, माँ के श्राद्ध की एकमात्र पावन भूमि।
एमपी अजब है सबसे एक नहीं दो नहीं सैकड़ों यहाँ शेर हैं पेच में था मोगली का नाम पारा सिंह है एमपी अजब है मान का महल है कि जहाज है कोई तो बताए जय गिलास के कीमत सच हाथी लटके सोच के सब चकराए एमपी अजब है अरे सबसे अजब है संगमरमर झुकता नहीं झूठा आसमान है और साथी देता सबको शांति का फरमान है एमपी अजब है सबसे अजब है
मोहन ने चिमन लाल चाली
कौन सा चाय?
अबे मोहन साहब ने चिमन लाल चाली साहब
मोहन
चिमन लाल चाली चिमन लाल चाली है चिमन लाल चाली चिमन लाल चाली हाँ चिमन लाल चाली सर चिमन लाल चाली है
लंच मोहन
मोहन सब लोग सुन लो स्टेट बैंक ऑफ इंडिया के इस देश में मैक्सिमम एटीएम्स है मैक्सिमम एटीएम्स SBI यकीन नहीं हुआ मुझे शर्त लगाई हार गया इसीलिए नाम बदलना पड़ा चिमन लाल चाले
तो 40, 41, 42, 43, आज 44
गुड गुड नया आर्ट फॉर्म इंटरेस्टिंग अच्छा शादी से पहले अभी I'm just asking यार एग्जैक्टली क्या करूं
एग्जैक्टली पापड़ देगा
क्यों
क्योंकि माय डियर फ्रेंड स्टेट बैंक ऑफ इंडिया होम लोन सिर्फ घर के लिए नहीं देता अंदर की चीजों के लिए भी देता जैसे टीवी फ्रिज फर्नीचर ये बेलन तो जनाब ये टी शर्ट जो मैं हार गया सुबह से देख रहा हूँ मालिक 44 है
अरे ये तो 43 है झूठ बोल रहा है
So I just showed you 5 where there was a product story. I mean, whether you take Central Shop, I remember the client came to me with a jar in his hand with the product and he said, product तो मैंने बना दिया है, तुम एडवर्टाइजिंग बनाओ, खा के देख. So I had that product, Central Shop, and I actually went, it was so bloody sour. And the ad is a reflection of the feeling I got that point of time. When you look at Sitpur, now Sitpur is unique because that's the only place in the country which is famous for doing your mother's shop. There is no other. So I didn't have to be too creative. I just took it and said, there is a product story. That story, can I say, fashion is his understanding. I got a lot of flack for the SBI ads because lots of people, the line at the end, I don't know who's removed it, it says surprisingly SBI. And all the SBI people said, what do you mean surprisingly, we are champions. I said, you'll be surprised that nobody knows about it. And I have to take individual board members aside and explain to them that your self-perception is not the perception of the people. So you are very surprisingly SBI. And that's how the campaign came out. The other thing that I've learned is, I must confess that the only book I've read in my life on advertising is Confessions of an Advertising Man by David Ogilvy. I had to read it because I was going for an interview. Otherwise, I've never read any advertising book. And I don't think I will. I think the biggest tool of advertising are two tools. One is here, that's eyes, the other one is here, that's ears. Keep your eyes and ears open and you will see life. You guys live in Pilani and travel home in buses, keep your eyes and ears open. There is a lot of life happening there. Ours is such a hugely rich cultural country. Ours is full of people, and there are people who give you ideas and try and make it real, try and make it surprising, try and make it say, hello, I know this, why didn't I think of this? I was very fortunate that I didn't play cricket in the IPL days. I played in the days when you used to get 8 rupees a day and you had to travel in third-class compartments unreserved. I think today, whatever I am doing with my career is a result of those days of traveling in those third-class compartments, of eating on the platforms, the aloo ki bhaji and puri with oil which could have been used in motorcycles. It really didn't matter. But I learned a lot. And I'm going to show you stuff which is, take a simple thing like this. What is a refrigerator meant for in India? In large parts of India, refrigerators meant for keeping things cool. Like अगर दूध नहीं रखा तो फट जाएगा. Like for instance कि मेहमान आ गया तो बर्फ नहीं घर में. So in my days I used to go on a cycle. My mother used to send me at 3 o'clock in a May afternoon. 1 किलो बर्फ लेके आओ, कोई आने वाला है शरबत में डालनी है. By the time I used to get home, कैरियर के अंदर उसका 1/4 किलो बन जाता था. Rest of it at the road. We are not a culture which likes to eat the same food the next morning. Food is cooked in every meal and finished in every meal. And the world and mother was talking about, this preserves nutrition and we've got double dose. We forgot the thing that it's about cooling. And I'm going to show you a set of 7 commercials. I want you to read between the lines. I'm not going to talk too much. I'm speaking to a very intelligent audience. Just keep it in mind. It's all about observations which you and I have. Similarly, when we travel, when we go to, I believe you guys go to a mela very often, I was told. There's some mela near Pilani, which is a big favorite of yours. Otherwise, you don't want to step out because it's the best place in the world. So, when you go to that mela, keep your eyes and ears open, you'll probably write better ads than I have done in my life. See 7 ads which are about little observations, keeping your eyes and ears open. Can you run it for me and say thank you?
The coolest one.
Thanks.
Calculator, the coolest one.
मेरी चीजों से दूर रहा कर, तुम सुनते क्यों नहीं हो? स्कूल टाइम से संभाल के रखी थी इस ट्रॉफी को मैंने, टूट गई। मैं कभी तुम्हारी चीजों को हाथ लगाता हूं? हाथ लगाता हूं मैं? तो मेरी ट्रॉफी को हाथ लगाने की जरूरत क्या थी? वाह, सॉरी।
आइंदा घर में क्रिकेट मत खेलिए।
सॉरी मम्मा।
माँ हमारे लिए कितना कुछ करती है, तो चलो रोज एक गिलास दूध पिए और हेल्दी रहें, ताकि बड़े होकर हम भी उनका ख्याल रख सकें। मदर के लिए माँ जैसा।
इसी को तुम अखबार में छुप छुप कर देख रही थी ना?
हाँ, क्यों?
देखो, मैं लिया।
पागल तो नहीं हो गए? कितने के हैं?
अरे कुछ भी नहीं। नहीं। लौटा। ये अब बहुत शुभ दिन है, वो वैलेंटाइंस डे। जो लोग प्यार करते हैं ना, एक दूसरे को कुछ न कुछ देते हैं।
अब इस उम्र में कहाँ पहनूंगी हीरा?
अरे हीरे को क्या पता तुम्हारी उम्र?
SBI Life Insurance with pension plans. Talk to Bachchan to reach second for our time. Yeah, thanks. Now, I really can't tell you how many stories there are from my own life in the last set of commercials I've shared with you. The diamond one, I remember my sister starting and telling me, your mother never will ask you for it, but she actually likes to own a diamond ornament. So my brother and I, those days we didn't have too much of money. We bought her a pair of earrings. He bought one, I bought the other. And we gave it to her, and she said, "This woman will come and mein hira." I just picked up the line and built on it. So there are a lot of stories all around us. If we can keep our eyes and ears open, observe, enjoy those stories, you can always turn them around a little bit. SBI Life has been running for years now. It's just about taking that little story and adding a little touch to it. It touches people's hearts because they say, yes, I kind of know this scenario. Why were they talking to me in plastic language, in advertising? Why can't somebody talk to me like this? And in the case of the last one that you just saw, which is cricket, I just turned around a scenario for which I was beaten up many times when I was a child. I said, let's reverse it and make the older people play, because it's about old age pensions. So again, I'm going to try and share it with you tonight in many ways. This is not rocket science. And I love, you have a course here. I was told by your colleagues, Padum and others, that you have a course in advertising, and that falls into something called humanities. And I say, that's interesting. What do the other inhumans do in other courses? And each point that I illustrate to you is not a separate point, they're all overlapping. The third one I'm going to share with you is that we are from a culture which loves drama. Can you take little incidents and build a little bit of drama in it without losing the reality, without losing the product truth? I remember 1993, I had gone to San Francisco and Hawaii and gone into a toy shop. The toy shop had fantastic posters there. It was a beautiful toy shop. And the poster said, please play with every toy. Our attendants will not stand politely behind you to say, what are you trying to see? Just enjoy yourself. And I was enjoying these posters because in India everyone says, इसके हाथ मत लगाना, ये टूट गया तो पैसे देने पड़ेंगे. That guy was saying, play with it. And while I was looking at it, suddenly an 80-year-old couple came out from under a table this high, on all fours, because one of the toys had gone underneath that got to fetch it. And I couldn't imagine a more beautiful moment. 3 days later, I got a call when I was in Hawaii that one of our businesses was in trouble and I had to fly back. So I flew back in my shorts and t-shirt from Hawaii and wrote a campaign on the way. I would attribute that campaign to that little thing that I saw in that toy shop. This, as I say, is history. We added just a little bit of drama, and this campaign went on to be the campaign of the century. Can you run the next 3 for me, please? The last one was done to celebrate India's 50 years of independence. Things that we have seen, Jhande Bas Jate, things that we have seen, that people get serious in a old boys match thinking that this is the only chance in life to play for India. So there are little observations to dramatize them and make them slightly larger than life, but yet keep them in the area of believability. When you read books on advertising, you sometimes get inspired by technology. So they will tell you things like 7 days to do good advertising. If you knew the 7 days of doing good advertising, you would be a very good advertising man, you would be writing a book for many years. So there are no rules. There are no rules. They say that products are made in factories, brands are made in hearts, not in the head. Brands are always made in hearts. And we are a very rich culture. We are the country of the Navrasas, 9 emotions, as they say. 9 emotions sounds so fake as compared to Navrasas. And I have always found that touching the right chords in the hearts of people, even in products which are technology-based, can make wonders. I'm going to show you a set of commercials which are completely technology-based company and has done nothing about technology and has won the hearts of people and is a very big brand today. Run me the next set, please.
Every day I want to dream, stay by myself. Every morning I wish I could just play. Wish the mornings were just there. Every day I want to fly, stay by myself. I want to dream still by myself.
We're the Blackberry Boys. Oh yeah, we're the Blackberry Boys. We're special, we're clever, we're very, very clever. We're the Blackberry Boys. Oh yeah, we're the Blackberry Boys. We do chat and we do mail. We do surf, we do all the moves.
स्लिम। तो याद है रानी ने एक मूवी में पहना था, थोड़ा नेट, फिर थोड़ा चिकन, फिर थोड़ा नेट, थोड़ा सा घुंघरू चाहिए मुझे, थोड़ा सा अच्छा। आप मुझे बैक पे एक ऐसे क्रिस क्रॉस करके गोली दे दीजिए। एक काम करना, टीवी करना, मेरे को टैटू शो करना है। पॉसिबल?
अलग लोग अलग जरूरतें, इसीलिए वोडाफोन मेड फॉर यू ऑफर्स। 1-to-1 कॉल करें और अपना ऑफर चुनें।
हर 5 मिनट में स्टेटस अपडेट। That's ridiculous. I mean, who does that? Hey, उस फोटोग्राफ में मुझे टैग मत करना। कितनी मोटी लग रही हूँ। Excuse me, मैं उससे नहीं, वो मुझे फॉलो कर रहा है ट्विटर पे। करण की पार्टी का वीडियो देखा तूने? तू कर क्या रही थी? आने में इतना टाइम लगा। मैंने ऑनलाइन तो गाइड्स खरीदे। यार, he's cute. Try to know उसने मेरी पिक्चर ही तो लाइक की है। Doesn't really mean anything. Does it?
जिनकी दुनिया में ऑनलाइन है, उनके लिए वोडाफोन मेड फॉर यू मोबाइल इंटरनेट ऑफर्स। 1-to-1 डायल करें और अपना ऑफर चुनें।
That's the most delightful campaign that one has worked on for many, many years. There's a tendency that when products based on technology like cars and things, they come to you and say, I love this advertising, that advertising, but you know my category is different. So I say, consumer doesn't watch advertising by categories. They don't sit there and say, hello, this is car category, hello, this is chocolate category. They see everything together. And what makes you think that the purchase behavior is such that you will see your ad and run and buy a car? It doesn't happen that way. I have to engage the person so that he goes the next day, asks a friend of his, that you drive the same car, what is your experience? Then he'll go to the showroom, he will try and take a test drive, then he will learn about how many gears does it have, and the process takes 2 months. If I was to try and tell him all these things in a TV ad of 40 seconds, he'll not be interested in a car, because the next ad that he sees is a very interesting one from Cadbury or from Hutch. So the point I'm making is, we are emotional beings, that's why we are not animals. We eat something because we like it, and we don't have to eat like a lion because it has to eat. So there is a heart to everyone. Otherwise we will be living in caves and saying, yeah, AC ki zarurat kya hai? That's an emotional need of yours. So that's one point I wanted to make about this. Now, one other point in advertising is that life is about sequels. So there are James Bond, which is a franchise, goes on years and years and years. I don't think Salman Khan will have the guts to make a 003. How much can be done? But I live with a product which is used for 50 years. So I have to do sequels which are refreshing, otherwise people get bored. But I have to live with a proposition which is there for life. If it says Dove is 1/4 moisturizing cream, it will be 1/4 moisturizing cream. I'll have to say it in different ways over the years and years. If something is a proposition of saying, I'm strong, I'll have to live with that strong and have to refresh them all the time. So one of the things is to try and keep refreshing every day. Keep your eyes and ears open, what I said earlier, you'll find ways of refreshing. That's something that I've worked on for 25 years now. I still find it refreshing. I hope you do too. Will you run me the next step, please? फेविकॉल मरी, वही मजबूत जोड़ पानी में भी। I've been doing this gig for the last 25 years, and every year there's pressure to do something new, and I hope we keep getting ideas. The other thing about sequels, as I spoke about, is that ideas are like a diamond. It's when you cut it in different places, that's when you get the best diamond. You've seen categories earlier, we came from children to adults, and over the last 7 years, we're trying to get into what is the traditional mithai market of India with different renditions, and we've succeeded very heavily. Not all ideas are the same, but the heart is the same. Notice it, how you can cut a diamond in various places which are without looking similar. Can you run the category stuff, please?
कुछ मीठा हो जाए वाले पैसे पर को देख दिवाली और इतना सना लगता है इन्हें मिलाना पड़ेगा।
अरे दादा तुमने बताया तुम मां बनने वाली हो। अरे शुक्ला की एंट्री यहाँ आ गई है।
रुको कुछ कपड़े लेने जा रहे थे कुछ मीठा तो ले जाओ।
शुक्ला जी तुम मीठा करो तुम मां बनने वाले हो।
तो इसी वाले आप इसे खुश करें क्यों ना कुछ निराश हो जाए।
क्या मैं आपको जानती हूँ? तो
मेरी माँ कहती है कोई भी शुभ काम करने से पहले कुछ मीठा खा लेना चाहिए, काम अच्छा होता है।
वैसे क्या शुभ काम करने जा रहे हो?
मैं सोच रहा था कि आपको घर छोड़ दूं।
शुभ आरंभ कुछ मीठा हो जाए।
प्रसाद हमको दो, कहीं भी शुभ होता है।
हर फैमिली में ऐसा होता है।
तुम्हारी फैमिली में है क्या? तुम्हारी फैमिली में कोई एलर्जी आंटी है?
नहीं, एलर्जी अंकल। उधर लेफ्ट में नहीं, उधर नहीं, ऑन लेफ्ट।
नहीं ऐसा कोई नहीं है। तुम्हारी फैमिली में मैं कौन हूँ?
नहीं।
तुम
नई दोस्ती का शुभ आरंभ कुछ मीठा हो जाए।
When was the last time you said I love you to me?
क्या?
तुमने मुझे लास्ट टाइम आई लव यू कब बोला?
अभी
अभी मतलब?
अभी बोलो आई लव यू।
ये तो तुम मुझे रोज देती।
I think the point that this also makes is that if you have to be a good advertising person, you have to be culturally relevant. and the shift in Cadbury's tells you how Cadbury's is trying to be a part of the Indian culture at all points of time. I'm a believer, and there's a little bit of a message for you in this one. If you like it, take it. If you don't, hate me. Both are acceptable. I was offered 5 times to come and work abroad, and I never went. And I was told once that if you do not go and work outside the country, how will you make a name internationally? 2004, I was invited as the first Asian to be the president of the Cannes jury. I took a agenda and I told them, yes, I can do it from India. I'm a great believer in the people of India. I'm a great believer in the culture of India, and it reflects in the work of Ogilvy and Mehta, and I'm very, very proud of it. And I want to show you one more set of things, how we have to reinvent ourselves. This is the story of a brand which started from seeing what the public behavior was. It's for Asian things, let me tell you right now. We started saying that life is about painting at festival times. No problem. Tell me. I'll tell you later.
இந்த பொங்கலுக்கு உங்கள் இல்லங்களை ஏசியன் பெயிண்ட்ஸால் வண்ணமயமாக்குங்கள். ஆண்டுதோறும் எங்களோடு கொண்டாடுங்கள். ஏசியன் பெயிண்ட்ஸ்.
यादों में उन बातों में जीवन के रंग बरसते हैं, खुशियों में अपनों से मिलने को कहना तरसते हैं.
These were the days when paints were used at festival times. Then we moved to home decor. That was the reinvention in this. London.
हर घर चुपचाप से ये कहता है कि अंदर इसमें कौन रहता है. छत बताती है ये किसका आसमां है. रंग कहते हैं किसका ये जहां है. कमरों में किसकी कल्पना झलकती है. इस फर्श पर नंगे पैर किसके बच्चे चलते हैं. कौन चुन चुन के इसे प्यार से सजाता है. कौन इस मकान में अपना घर बसाता है. हर घर चुपचाप से ये कहता है कि अंदर इसमें कौन रहता है. एशियन पेंट्स, क्योंकि हर घर कुछ कहता है. कैसे एक मकान चुटकी से घर बन जाता है. क्यों उस घर का दरवाजा हरदम खुला नजर आता है. क्यों पड़ोसी अपने घर से ज्यादा इस घर में नजर आते हैं. कभी दाल, कभी चीनी, कभी दालचीनी मांगने आ जाते हैं. पोस्टमैन भी सिर्फ नाम देख के चिट्ठी ले आता है. एग्जाम से पहले बच्चों के बेस्ट फ्रेंड्स
पढ़ने यही क्यों आते हैं? रोटियां यहां पर कभी गिनती क्यों नहीं बनती? क्यों होली खेलने पूरा मोहल्ला यहीं पर चुपता है? क्यों दिवाली का पहला पटाखा यहीं से चुपता है? क्यों क्रिकेट में हारते हारते यहां इंडिया जीत जाता है? कैसे एक घर सबकी जिंदगी में रंग लाता है? हर घर चुपचाप से ये कहता है कि अंदर इसमें कौन रहता है? Asian BITS. From here we move into service.
क्या बात है छोटे? बहू बता रही थी कि आजकल तू उससे बात नहीं करती।
नहीं भैया ऐसा नहीं है।
अच्छा ये वरना कौन?
क्या हुआ?
नहीं कुछ नहीं। नहीं भैया ऐसा नहीं है।
सोने जैसा रहते हंसता खेलता परिवार है, ये सब अच्छा नहीं लगता। क्या पढ़ना कौन?
भैया ऐसा नहीं है। ये देखिए ये है पढ़ना। asianpaints.com पे लॉग ऑन कीजिए, आज का पढ़ना पे क्लिक कीजिए और लाइव चैट करके पेंटिंग और होम डेकोर के बारे में एक्सपर्ट एडवाइस पाइए।
मतलब तू इसके अलावा किसी और पढ़ना को नहीं आता?
नहीं भैया ऐसा नहीं है।
अरे अब पढ़ना बहू।
पेंटिंग करने का आसान तरीका asianpaints.com।
पुट्टी सूखी नहीं प्राइमर वाला
भैया मेरे हिसाब से
तो अब तू मुझे सिखा।
नहीं भैया ऐसा नहीं है।
स्विमिंग पूल जाने से डरता था। मैंने तुझे तैरना सिखाया और तेरा फर्स्ट लव
लव
लेटर
लेटर
डिस्को
डिस्को
मैंने सुनवाया। भूल गया? अपने हाथों से SMS करके मैंने ये मंगाया। एशियन पेंट्स ब्यूटीफुल होम्स और इसको सब कुछ है इसके अंदर। पेंट कैसे कराया जाए, कलर और डिजाइन कैसे चुना जाए और दीवारों का कैसे ध्यान रखें, एवरी आइटम। तू क्या देख रहा है? दीवार पे कितने चल रही है?
नहीं भैया ऐसा नहीं है।
SMS BH to 56161. Happy painting.
So the brand has reinvented itself over the years as per, and I believe the biggest trick in advertising is to respect your consumer. If you respect your consumer, you'll know your consumer. If you know your consumer, you'll work towards the consumer and reinvent yourself all the time. And the last principle I believe in all my life is the KISS principle, keep it simple, stupid. And within that principle, you must bring out your angst, you must bring out your joy. I'm going to show you 2 commercials before one last gift that I'll have for you later. But 2 commercials which I wrote personally, one out of angst and one out of joy. Can you run the 2, please?
Based on all political issues, development bill. Those on my left will speak in favor of the motion and those on my right will speak against it. And I want proper parliamentary behavior. So let's start.
Thank you, Professor. Since 1960, we are trying to pass the bill for the rural development. And the structure of the bill is...
when you can raise a debate on national television on parliamentary behavior, when you can give joy to each one of us, reminding us of our childhood as in the railways. Thank you.
How did you manage to put up so many people on the truck in the ferry program?
We just put the hoarding at the back, we all stuck. I mean, you should ask Mr. Agarwal, how does he manage to fit so many dabbas in those Bombay locals? Anything is possible. If you want it, it happens.
Next up, in a career spanning 4 decades, there will be some ads that you hold close to your heart but aren't commercially successful. What would you say about them?
Somebody has been deprived of good work. He didn't see the light of, lots of work that didn't see the light of day is because of things. I only say, God forgive them, they know not what they've done. I'll show you, I'll show you that someday. No, on a serious note, some things work well, some things work great, some things don't work so well. I think every person has his own list of successes and failures. As long as the first one is more than the last one, you're right. You're only human. You will fail at times. But failure does not mean that you don't go into that the next time saying, shit, what happened in the last one? If you think about, I'll make more than up for what happened earlier. That's life. Life will have its little ups and downs. And you want to bounce back and say, I'll make it happen.
So our last question for the night. David Ogilvy turned to advertising at 39.
Sorry?
David Ogilvy turned to advertising at 39 after having worked as a chef. Yourself after Ranji and tea tasting. Is advertising only good for people unsatisfied with their jobs?
I think that only goes on to say what I said. It's not rocket science. It's easy to do it at any stage. And if you have to look at your passions. Now, next year I'm planning to apply to BITS to do a course here in metallurgy or whatever you have. I think it's time to say good night, and I wish you all the very best. Make the country rock. We won't be able to do advertising if you don't create great products, and you guys have that responsibility. God bless you.
I'd like to request Professor G. Raghurama, Director, BITS Pilani Campus, to come up on stage and honor Sir with a memento. I request Mr. Nayan Goyal, General Secretary Students Union, to escort him on the stage. Thank you, sir. With these 2 most intriguing lectures, we come to the end of day 1 at Think Again.